Okay, so we're here with this man. Can you please introduce yourself and tell everyone why you're sitting in that chair right now?
Hi Stu, apart from looking like Kermit the Frog, I'm Ben Robertson, a trail runner, recently getting into ultra running. I'm a bit of an ambassador for mental health and social running as well. So it's one of the main reasons that I'm here talking to you. In particular, talking about SRG, so Social Run Group, through the up and running stores, and the positive effect that it can have on people's mental well-being, really.
So the question I've got to ask you now is, what does running mean to you, and why? You're saying the positive effect it has on your well-being, but do you have a story about that?
Pretty much. I mean, running has played a pivotal part in my recovery. When I talk about recovery, back in September 2018, 18th of September to be precise, I woke up after a failed suicide attempt. Yeah, it's not nice, but it needs to be spoken about, so I do a lot of talking about mental health, and in particular what I've found as part of my recovery, I've used running, and not just running but what I call green time, and just getting out, general outdoors time as well. Part of that recovery process involved running with social groups like SRG through the up and running stores. And the main benefit I found from that is just that, the social element, rather than sitting bouncing off the walls at home or running by myself and having my mind racing and running 10 miles and crying for 9 of them. Running with people, having that interaction, but also being able to share stories as well. So I found that Social Run Group does that and allows me to do that as well. So it's been a big journey. I'm actually going to be visiting one of the up and running stores, the Social Run Group, on Monday night up in Harrogate, so it'll be nice to meet some of the...
So the headquarters?
Yes, yeah. So I will grace them with my presence, whether they can understand me with my Geordie accent. But yeah, the idea is for me to come and talk the backsides off some of the Social Run Group, talk about my story, and hopefully get some of them to open up as well, and just talk about how running's helped me and see how running's been helping them as well. The other point is I'd like to hopefully encourage other people to join in social running. I think it's great for everyone, really. Yeah.
So the question I've got, I've known you for quite a few years now. The question I've got for you, which was quite tough for me to hear it, like you said, a couple of months after we'd went on a big run. Yes. I'd done a big run, but you were there for a day of it.
I thought you were going to slap my hand.
No. Yeah, but honestly, there was an inspiration. We talked about it. We cried on that run. Yeah. And a couple of months later, you then tried to take your life. I want to know the way your thought process worked. And the second part of the question is, you've seen the light or something like that. Someone's clicked. Yeah. How did that work? So first of all, after seeing the positive effect, because you were there for a big day at Sheffield, yes. You saw people struggling. What made you go from such a high to such a low, and then what's made you go back to a high?
Do you know what it is? I've thought about that day a lot, because I thought, am I a bit of a hypocrite? I'm preaching about the benefits of running and how you can recover, and I think back to that day, in fact, because as you rightly said, there was a number of people who were struggling. There was one guy in particular who didn't have to. He opened up and told me his life story, how he was overweight, he was stressed at work, he had had suicidal thoughts, and it really struck a chord. And what I'd done is I looked at you in supporting mind and other sort of reasons for your challenge, and I was inspired by it. And basically after that, I think I neglected myself, admittedly, and sort of dropped away from the consistency of running, the social element, and I suffered. I ultimately suffered. But moving on from that, once I came to the point of suicide, it was just a normal working day. Been to a customer site, came back home to an empty house, lonely, bouncing off the walls, and instead of getting up and going out for a run or being social, asking my friends, do you want to go for a run or a pint, I didn't do that and just crumbled, and I think that's where I failed, and I can recognise that. But it's not a case of failing there, it's the fact that I've conquered it and I've recovered from that using running and using the social side to get myself back. And I think more so now, I realise my missed opportunity there, and I want to prevent other people from getting to that point, and hopefully be able to do that through these channels of speaking about the benefits of running on your mental well-being and social running as well.
So let's be honest here, you've turned it around, so to speak, but
yes.
Surely you're still having moments where you bounce off the walls and stuff.
Totally.
Right.
I mean, it's changed more recently,
yeah.
But early last year, even though I was planning my 4 ultra marathon challenge, I still had a moment where I walked into the doctor's surgery and said, I need help, as in I'm borderline suicidal again. And so I'm conscious now of when I have my lows. I know what my triggers are. I know when I'm going to get to a low point, and I do something about it. What I do now is I openly talk to random people about how I'm feeling. Got a funny story for you. In fact, I was doing a fell race New Year's Eve up Wormstone's Peak District towards Kinder, and normally a 4-mile race, and started off fine. They changed the route and that completely threw me, and I started having an anxiety attack on the top of the moors. So I turned to the guy next to me, he was a 71-year-old guy, and said, you're gonna have to help me, I'm having an anxiety attack, I'm struggling, talk to me. And he talked to me for the next mile or so, and that got me round. So I know that I need to open my mouth, reach out and ask for help, and people are there. People are there to help as well. And that's my mission now, is to prevent people getting to the stage I got to, and do it through running, because green time, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You know, you got me. I'm like, wow. So, your triggers. You feel your triggers.
Yes.
If you were to let's just say, if you were to have a really bad day,
yeah,
a couple of days from now,
yeah,
what would you do?
First thing I'd do is I'd step out my front door. Yeah. Go for a walk. Not necessarily a run. I'd go for a walk, or I'd speak to someone, because I know that if I've not been sleeping, I've not been eating properly, I've been stressed with work or personal life, I know that my mental state's going to be down there. So what I do is I get out the door, go for a walk or go for a run. Even if I don't feel like it, I know that I'm in control, and it's for me to make that first step. Yes, I can have support by reaching out to people, but I step out that front door, and once I've got 100 yards down the road, came back, I feel much better.
Do you know what's really strange? It is as simple as that, isn't it?
It is.
We all talk about, and obviously, as you know, we're big preachers for mind and mental health awareness, and we all say it's good to talk.
Yeah.
But it's one of the hardest things to do sometimes, because you feel like you're a burden or something, don't you?
This is it, and I spoke about it yesterday on the stage, and one of the big things is, if you don't feel you can speak to family, friends, speak to anyone. Speak to strangers, just speak to anyone, and it's making little steps at a time. The other thing as well is, don't get sort of put off or hurt if you don't get the response that you feel you need. For example, if you message a friend and they're like, oh, man up, or get a grip or something like that. I had one of my best friends who didn't speak to me for about 3 weeks. It didn't mean he didn't care. All it was that basically he didn't understand mental health, and he'd never experienced anything like that before. There is help out there. The main thing is to speak up and also make little steps as well. But you are in control, and remember that you are in control. You are,
yeah. I think it's a hidden message that people don't think they're losing control or whatever like that. So you'd say your steps are first thing if you're feeling like, because we all talk about the safety of our house.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it's a horrible place. Sometimes if you're stuck in those 4 lonely walls. So first step you say is get out.
Yeah.
Second step, see if you can talk to someone, go for a run, SRGs, park runs, whatever it is, get out and speak.
Well, that's it. And another simple thing as well that I said yesterday in my speech was get up in the morning and make your bed. I was always shocking at making my bed. I always got told off for it when I was a kid. My ex-wife used to have a right go at us about it. But if you get up in the morning, make your bed, that's one task done.
Correct.
And then
I high-fived you because I completely go by that.
You feel positive.
You've started the day.
Exactly, and that spurs you on and gives you the motivation to do something else.
Yeah.
So, and it's up from there.
Yeah, it's so true. It's as simple as that. You've done something, you feel an achievement. Yeah. Some people might be watching this going, just make your bed. Yeah. But when you're feeling really low, you've done something. Yeah. Let's go. Next. What's next? And it does spiral, doesn't it? In a good way.
Yeah. I mean, another example. I know I'm waffling on, but basically, I'm a software consultant by trade. So I stare at a screen, and sometimes I'll finish work and I'll feel like a zombie. But what I'll do is I'll get up and I'll stand at my front door or just step outside to get that fresh air. That'll get me started. Then I'll get tidied away and then do something. It's little steps like that.
Fantastic. What's next?
I've got a few trail runs coming up, a few fell races. I've got one ultra, so I've got Rat Race the Wall in June. I'm going for the 1 day for that, so I'll see how I get on. I'm still doing me running with me tyre, so you might see me up in the Peak District and whatnot, or I'm coming up to Harrogate on Monday. I have actually ran around some of the areas up near Harrogate with me tyre. If you're wondering about the tyre, what that represents is basically, I see it as a visual representation of my heavy burden, my stress, my mental health, which unlike everyone else's or my mental health, it's not normally visible. So it gets people openly talking about it as well. So I'm going to be running around with that. I'm hopefully going to be speaking and just promoting the benefits of running and fitness on your mental well-being.
So final thing is, you are very open. We've spoke a lot about this in the past, maybe not enough talking about the 18th of September 2018, but anyway, that's why I'm going to slap you later on for that. But where can people chat to you? Where can people find you? Instagram, what have you got?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Facebook. So on Facebook, I've got a page called Get Out, Get Muddy, because if you know me, you know that any run that I do, I have to jump in puddles, I have to get muddy. So it's Facebook page, Get Out, Get Muddy. I'm on Instagram at the moment as BJRobo36, and look for posts and stuff on there. So yeah.
Mate, thank you so much.
Thank you.